And I am Uncle Coney tonight.
Uncle Coney.
Let's talk about this, because this is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you didn't.
was
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. See, you associated what you saw with...
And we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you didn't.
was
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. See, you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, but what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio and listened.
Talking about how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
It was
and
exciting.
A few other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah. This was no, but what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio and listened.
Talking about how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
It was
and a
exciting.
few other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah. This was
how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
It was
and a few
exciting.
other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah. This was.
All right. So here's some questions for you. Who here believes that COVID-19 was one giant scamdemic? Who here believes that the moon landing was also a big scam and psyop? All right, well, I got a special treat for you. If you believe any of these are psyops, and let's just be real here, we know that the powers that be are the masters of orchestrating psyops. Global psyops. They put nothing past them, and they will do anything to keep us lied to and keep us dumb and asleep so that they can have the control and knowledge. Well, I got a special treat for you here. Sean Hibbler, who's founder of the Hibbler Productions, and he's a producer, director, documentarian of Level With Me and Fluvid-19 and so many other great films. He is truly spreading knowledge and truth to light with his short films. They're incredible. He's here joining me today, Sean Hibbler, and we're going to delve into the NASA scam, the moon landing, PSYOP, COVID, and so much more. So thanks so much for joining us. Sean, how are you?
Good. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Hello to your lovely audience. I'm sure anyone scratching their head at this point regarding the Earth or NASA, hopefully I can answer the questions that you'll be asking me and that you'll be having in your head as the audience, because there's a lot of questions involved with this PSYOP, but it's all answerable. There's answers for everything, so I'm willing to answer any questions you guys have or talk about anything you guys would like today.
I love it, and I love that you went down these rabbit holes. Okay, because it all relates, it all connects to the elites wanting power, knowledge, and they always want to trick us. They always want to fool us into believing whatever they want. So we can't put it past them to, again, when people say, why would they do something like create a fake pandemic, for instance? Why would they create, fake moon landing or something? Why? Because first of all, they have the knowledge and power and tools to do so and the ability, but they want to keep us dumb and believing something because ultimately they want power and control. And we'll get into that. But first, let's just get right into the meat of things and go from there. What is NASA really, from what your experience has been and your research has been?
Sure. Yeah. NASA was started by Nazi traitors after World War II, and they gave the role to these guys to basically start a propaganda, terror house. I mean, it was all for propaganda. I'm a little bit more skeptical with the timeline of everything than others. I'm more vocal about it. I feel as if you look at the actual timeline, there was a guy named Admiral Byrd, Byrd. He was a guy that they wanted to go explore Antarctica, And just to rewind real quick,
Yeah.
back, I think the 1700s, a guy named Captain Cook, he was going to be the one to circumnavigate Antarctica by ship, okay? And he couldn't get in by ship. There's a 200, 300-foot ice shelf, holding our world oceans in, but we can get to that later. My point is that what he charted is something that everybody should be questioning. He charted 68,000 miles around the world and came back to where he started from and said, oh yeah, we just went around Antarctica. We can't get in here. Well, how'd you chart 68,000 miles? I thought the equator, the fattest part of this ball Earth, is 24,000 miles. I thought the bottom, where this little Antarctica island is what, 8,000 miles, 10,000 miles around? But he charted 68,000 miles. So that's something that I want your audience to really absorb there. But fast forwarding now, in the 40s and 50s, Admiral Byrd went over there. And when he came back, he went on live TV. It was called Longines Chronoscope was the show. This was back when TV was live and probably not scripted. It could have been, but either way, they brought him in. They said, what'd you see over there? What's going on? He just got back and he said, there's another continent the size of North America on the other side of Antarctica. No one's ever seen it before. And he said, I can't believe that no one's ever stepped foot on this. And right away, it wasn't like, oh yeah, well, 10 years later, right away, they start a treaty. The main 12 nations of our world signed this giant treaty saying nobody can go over there where he went. Around the whole world too, around the whole earth plane. You can't go out and look around anymore. There's a treaty saying that that's illegal. You can't explore. You can go visit a little peninsula in Antarctica for 20 grand, but you can't go explore. Say, I'll be back in 5 years. No, you can't. That's in the treaty. And then all the other nations signed on shortly after. And then 6 months later, NASA starts. And again, to answer your question, that's why I had to go to the timeline, because now we have this propaganda piece called NASA. What can we do? A lot of people forget how they started. They started by saying, we're going to send monkeys up to upper space. I call it upper space because it doesn't exist. Outer space, we can get into later. That might exist in terms of the words. But in terms of above our heads in the sky, no, there's nothing up there, guys. They've never proven it. They've never taken any videos, photos, anything real. In my research, anything above 73 miles cannot be proven, and anything below 7.8 miles cannot be proven. That's why it's the Guinness Book of World Records, 7.8 miles, the deepest hole ever dug. But yet they tell our children that they know 4,000 miles in is some orange magma core. No, they've already admitted in the record book that they can't get past 7.8 miles down. It's impenetrable. You can't get through the bottom of the ocean. It bounces off. It's impenetrable. There's another body of water below our ocean that you bounce off in the submarine. You'd bounce off in the submarine. You can't get through. So for me, NASA was strictly designed to just propagate moon landings, Challenger explosion hoaxes, all these psyops, cartoons, CGI, being the Disney of science for the masses.
And space, and yeah, propagating the myth of space. So what is up there then? I mean, when we say up there, upper space, you call it upper space,
Sure.
More than 73 miles, you said?
As far as my research goes, amateur rockets, multiple, have been sent up with cameras straight up. Like we all would assume in our head, the rocket goes, I mean, wouldn't you be able to get to this space place by going straight up? But that's the reason, is that NASA's rockets go like this. We all see them, right? And then so that's the perspective of our, the vanishing point itself, just like an airplane. You see an airplane at cruising altitude, if you can, 7-8 miles up, you could barely see it. But yet NASA's rockets are 200-300 miles up, and you can see their launch the whole time. That doesn't make any sense. They're literally just shooting them off. That's why they launch them from Florida and Texas. They shoot them out to the ocean. They all head to the Bermuda Triangle if you look at the actual path.
Wow.
So maybe that's why we're told not to go over to the Bermuda, because maybe there's a landing pad there. I don't know. But either way, if they're dumping them, if they're landing them, they're not going up anywhere. They're not doing anything. And that's why they all have to stage it here on Earth in studios with green screens, with harnesses. layering with cameras of our flat horizon. They throw a fisheye lens on. That's the behind layer. That's the back layer for any video people. You know what I mean? And the front layer would be your astronaut in an underwater pool with a green screen, blue screen technology. And then that's the front layer. So now you got this curved Earth back layer, which is artificial to begin with, because all the horizon rises to eye level as you go up, and it's always flat as a pancake. So when you see any curve, it's a fisheye lens or it's made on the computer. None of us have seen curvature or anything related to curvature in our life. Why is it the flattest places in the world? The flattest places in the world are, look at Kansas, so flat. Where's the curviest places in the world? Haven't heard that one yet.
Interesting. So NASA was started by Nazis, right? Created or helped organize by Nazis.
Yeah. So I don't know the exact details. I know it was called Operation Paperclip. And they brought these guys in, that basically they separated them. I think some of them started NASA to do this propaganda piece to get, because remember back then, this was 1920 when it changed, guys. This isn't like thousands of years ago. 1920 is when the Board of Education started by John D. Rockefeller, and universally they said, this is our education system now. False history, false science, crap that none of our kids are going to learn, experience life from and get better as humans, just garbage to fill their brains, make them into slaves. And that's exactly what they did in 1920. It was a huge push for the education. And a lot of these schools were fighting it. They didn't want to teach a globe to their children. Like, what is this ball thing? What are we talking about? And they're like, sorry, if you don't want to do this, then you won't be funded by Rockefeller. You'll probably end up closing. And most of them did. But a lot of them were fighting. There were still public schools in America, public, that were teaching that the earth was a stationary plane with the regular world map hung in all libraries in America. That was, I believe, the Gleason's map, which is a standard map of the world. It's a flat plane. You can navigate around the flat plane. I can walk around your house and just circumnavigated your home. That your house is in a sphere now. You can circumnavigate a flat plane and come back where you started from. That's east to west, going around a circle, coming back to where you started from. But nobody has navigated and circumnavigated, from talk about the ball earth here, the north to the south, and then come back around to the north. No, that's happened 0 times. Do you know why it's happened 0 times? On a ball earth, it should happen every day. There should have been millions by now to do it, but it can't happen. We're on a flat plane. If you travel south, you're hitting the highest elevated continent on earth called Antarctica, which is holding our world oceans in. Water has to be contained. Water's always level. It's got to be contained. Antarctica is the container of our world oceans. As you go out of Antarctica, whether you fly over or climb over this container, we don't know what's over there. It's pure speculation. I believe Admiral Byrd. I believe it. And then they killed him 6 months later, by the way, for your audience. They got rid of him. So I believe him. There's accounts in the 1800s, firsthand eyewitness testimony, books printed, published, Iron Republic, Worlds Beyond the Poles, a Smoky God, talking about the North, land in the South. There's books, there's people printing stuff. There's ships back in the day that would chart more land outside of our world that we know. And so why not take the 7 continents the public knows, wrap it into a ball, throw it up in the air and say, hey, that's it, guys. We're done with this exploration. We got all 7 continents in our slave system now. None of them know or realize they can go that way. It possibly is what if it was an infinite plane? People can accept infinite above our head with the cartoons they show, but what if it was infinite that way and that way and that way and that way, and they're keeping us in a cage? And if humanity found this out, even though it's speculation, if we still, as humanity, found this out, millions would go south, millions would go north, if not billions, and then their governments, the universities, the camps, we call it indoctrination camps, they all dissolve, guys. All of it dissolves. It's gone. You want a new world? You want our world back? That's what humanity needs to actually do.
Is discover and explore what else is out there right here.
Yeah. Travel past their BS treaty, right? Where, no, you can't go explore over there. F you. What are you protecting? And the official narrative is penguins. Yet they rip down the Amazon. They create their own wildfires. You think they care about our environment?
Hey,
no.
Why are they so guarding Antarctica? Why won't they let anyone over there?
Penguins. That's the official story.
But
literally, I can't read anything else about it. Penguins,
no.
you can't go, you can't disturb them. Screw that. I think if, again, you got 5 million ships all going in and maybe call it 5,000 private planes, all going in a planned attack, not attack, but just to get to that 60th parallel. Again, we're all going to be on radar, guys. That's why when people go, why don't you just go? Oh yeah, let me just go get a crew together. We'll go on our boat. Watch. I made a film last year called The Next Level, last year's film.
Okay.
And there's guys that were traveling too far south. I don't know if they were going to the ice wall. I have no idea, but it's the point of they were traveling south and they come up on radar thousands of miles away. There's no curve between those radar points across the ocean, guys. It's flat water. So they could see you're coming, whether you're in the sky or the ground, unfortunately. That's why I would say we would need it in the millions. And then they would go, there's nothing we can do. But in my opinion, we'd have our answers right then and there.
Yes.
In the north and the south, we'd have our answers. We would know what this world is and definitely what this world is not.
Amazing. And you talk about all this and delve deeper into this in your films, Level With Me and The Next Level, right?
Yeah, I made 3. So this is Level With Me just came out. That's my 3rd. I have if you guys have ever heard of Eddie Bravo, he is in this film. The MMA fighters Bryce Mitchell and Joe Bauman. These are people that are speaking the truth, going against the grain, going in the ring, grabbing the microphone, calling Hollywood pedophiles. You guys know Joe Bauman, obviously. That's one of my good buddies. And Bryce Mitchell, too. I mean, he's very vocal about the flat earth. So it was a perfect opportunity to say, hey, Bryce, would you want to be a part of something where a lot of people can see this? We can reach a lot of people now because it's not 2015 anymore where people hear flat earth and you get ridiculed right away. You get made fun of, because of the brainwashing. That's kind of what we're conditioned to do is go, oh yeah, the earth's flat. Sure. I had my iPhone picture of the ball earth for years. Remember when you couldn't even change the screensaver on the iPhone? It was the blue marble. The blue marble's already been outed. That was designed and created on a computer by a man named Robert Simon. He actually speaks about this and says that how he designed it and how he comes up with these ideas of taking clouds and copying and pasting them. And none of that's not a real photograph, ladies and gentlemen. There's no real photographs that NASA has ever taken of anything. And if you think the Apollos were real, ask yourself this question. That was the first time in human history that we can go see what our world looks like. That was the first time ever. And they're on the moon, apparently, playing golf, driving a dune buggy, doing whatever they're doing to sell the masses. I get it. But if you actually believe that happened, then ask yourself, why did they never say the word Earth in all 6 Apollo missions while they're on the moon? They didn't even pan the camera and zoom in on our home. They took, reportedly, I know it's a fake photo, but it's just a point, even if you think it was real. They took 1 photograph of where we live. No one's seen it ever in the history before or after, apparently, but 1. And they took 10,000 pictures of the studio set, of the moon rock, right? 10 million pictures. They never once, there was no focus on Earth because look at it. It looked awful. They just wanted people to go, look, we're walking on the moon. We need more of your money and we need more of your mind. That's what it was.
So I guess we'll go to my next question. So what was the moon landing really? And what, obviously everybody at that time was stunned. They were watching the TV, one giant step for humanity. Everyone's like, wow, this is crazy. We're going on the moon. What really happened there?
Well, to be honest, though, not to backtrack you personally, but most people did not watch it on TV. Most people listened to it on the radio back then. Only the rich, wealthy, or the fortunate had a television set. For good reason. They knew how bad this was going to look, but because of the grainy black and white, I don't know how they sold talking to Nixon on a landline on a moon. What? And it's like, wasn't even explained. Just put it out there. Nixon, no delay. Just, hey, how you guys doing up there?
Yeah,
so it's I don't know how it worked back then, but my opinion is that the television set, the radio, this new technology, because the old world had this crap, guys. This isn't new. They just reintroduced it and made it expensive. But all this technology that they're reintroducing to the world, radio frequencies, all this stuff, it was, people were intrigued, like, oh my God, especially that first TV you got as a family. Could you imagine the feeling of just a middle class normal American family. They got their first TV. And that's what they did. They did the same thing with the HDTVs. They set it high first. Only the rich, only the wealthy can get this box that flickers. But then they drop the price because they want everyone to have it. But they have to set the bar first. It's only for rich, so you can worship it and pray that you get one. So when the normal family got a TV, whatever came out of that was like the gospel. True. So they knew what they were doing. The CIA, NASA, they knew that it was going to be hard, but not as a collective force. They had all CIA, government, all the higher up elite companies were all in on this. And again, when people go, how many people were in on this whole globe Earth, scam? Not many. I mean, maybe thousands.
Like the same people that orchestrated COVID-19, like the same kind
same
of
thing. Maybe thousands of them orchestrated it. Yeah. It's all you need when you own everything. And they didn't own everything back then, but they had enough that they did own that's all they needed was a couple news networks in on it, some feeds, the government's in on it, obviously. So it was more compartmentalized then. It's a little bit more spread out now. Some more players involved. Elon Musk, SpaceX. They got to bring in. It's like, dude, NASA's failing. Everyone's seeing their glitches and their green screens and their harnesses and the failure of NASA and their cartoons. We're losing it here, 2016. And then they took SpaceX and made them the best thing in the world. To try to steer people away a little bit from NASA. No one really cares about NASA as much, but we care because they've stolen $330 billion from us every year since I was born, at least. So, that, as cliche as this sounds, that can end homelessness. Okay. That can revive our trafficking system and get our children back. That's 330 billion, 340, I think now. That's public reported. I'm sure it's more that they steal from taxpayers for the fake space program. Even if you believe in the space shit, I'm sorry. What have they done for you?
Right.
What have they done for your family? Come on.
In this many years, what do they do? What have they done? What important public service have they done for us?
Black budget, black hole. That's all they are. And they're mind control, government, NASA.gov for a reason. You go to NASA.gov, I suggest that your audience does. Just look around. Yeah. Look around. Tell me what you find that you look at and go, man, that's real. That's a photograph. You won't. If you're a critically thinking person that's not in this matrix of 2 masks, 8 jabs, if you're a critically thinking person that can use their brain and common sense, go to NASA's website and look around. That's all I do. And, I make films to explain where we live, but definitely where we do not live. And they're painting a picture to keep us farther away from God and to keep us thinking that there's only 7 continents. And that couldn't be the biggest lie.
Interesting. All right. So backing up a little bit. So a lot of people say that Stanley Kubrick directed the moon landing. Who really directed it, if you know? And was it like, was it like green screen, basically Hollywood production? What was it really from your research?
Number one, it was filmed here on Earth. Stage set completely, whether they're in a desert in Nevada, an exact location, I don't know off the top of my head, but I think Kubrick maybe played a role into helping the visualizations, the effects maybe, but Werner von Braun was, in my opinion, the guy that directed all 6 of them. Okay. He was NASA's head guy. And I think that's why they brought these Nazi traitors over to start this, because they knew they had an agenda. They knew that they could say, hey, look, we'll just say you, von Braun, we'll just say you're the rocket genius in Germany. That they're not doing any of that stuff. This is all just imposed on the public all at once. Like, here's these guys, we're going to forgive them and they're going to start our space program. And the first thing they're going to do is send monkeys up there to test everything out. And if you guys don't remember, go watch that. It's hilarious where they're saying the monkeys are going up and then like the monkeys, they don't even show the monkeys going up in a rocket. They just show that they're in a rocket. Then when they land later and they're like, arr, it's like from day one, they have not proven anything to you. It's all been tricks and magic. The problem is 2023. Tricks and magic is a lot harder. And that's why they don't do, that's why they don't do anything. They don't do anything. They don't.
Yeah, why don't they go to the moon? Why don't they keep going to the moon?
It's never going to happen again. I'll tell you right now, every president, I believe since Carter, Carter. Yeah, Jimmy Carter. Every president in their term has said, we're going back to the moon and we're going, or we're going to Mars. We're going to Mars. Even Bush Sr., we're going to go to Mars next year. Clinton, 1990 or whatever, this day we're going to Mars. I'm signing a declaration about, no. You can't, first of all, you can't go anywhere above your head past 73 miles, in my opinion. And number two, those lights in the sky are lights, frequencies, vibrations, energy sources, design created for us. They're small, they're close. You can't travel to a light in the sky. So they have to fake it. Once you realize, of course, they have to fake it. Well, then, yeah, they're just going to keep doing that every 4 years. Yeah, we're going. Just to kind of keep prolonging this tax, this black budget hole that they've stolen so much money from us and so many minds, which is more important. Money's bullshit. Minds are for real for me. Like, it's all about the mind. And they have governed our minds in our parents' minds and only some of our grandparents' minds. Because if you have someone that is in your life or that you know of that is, I think the cutoff now is 98, unfortunately. It's just going away. 98 years old or older, present day, ask them if they still can, they're still sharp enough. What were they taught in school growing up about the earth?
Oh.
None of them will say, oh, they were teaching Copernicus, Galileo, Eratosthenes, globe. No, this is all new. In my opinion, it's new. We've talked to older people. I've talked to my grandma before she passed. We interviewed a lady that was 102 or 103 in the film that said the same thing. She remembers the World's Fair. That's a whole nother rabbit hole with Tartaria and stuff. But, and then we're like,
you said?
Say it again.
You said Tartaria?
Yeah. Well, that'll be my next project. Well, I don't call it Tartaria. That's just one piece of a big puzzle. But the big puzzle is my next project. We don't have to get into that right now. I want to answer your questions, but that'll be my next film. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the glitches? What are some of the inconsistencies about the moon landing that, just exposes it as a hoax or a psyop? Just some, I know there's lots, but what are just at least a couple of the big ones?
Number one, I just always make fun of their reaction. Just look at, you watch a basketball championship. It's basketball. It's a sport, a game. People are just playing. They make millions of dollars. Are they that emotionally invested with their millions of dollars that when they win the championship, they're partying and celebrating and screaming on top of their lungs? And you can witness the emotion. The guys just got back from the moon, and they looked like they're about to lie to the world because they did. Their reaction is always my go-to.
Interview, right?
Yeah.
What the hell? This is like, these are people that just came back from the moon. What, they look so bizarre, right?
And the guy, and then Michael Collins, or then they're asked, did they see the stars up there? And then Buzz, I think it was Neil Armstrong was supposed to be the leader of that one, where he's just like, I don't remember type of guy, I can't recall whether. And then I think Michael Collins mistakenly said, I don't remember seeing any stars up there. And you see Neil Armstrong go,
yeah,
oh my God, you did not just say we did not see stars up there. Because in previous interviews, they were talking about seeing the stars. It's like, there's no consistent story with it. And they even attacked the astronauts when in their prime years in person and asked them about some of the stuff and swear in a Bible that you walked on the moon. They run away, and that's why for me, Neil Armstrong was so silent. I think he did a handful or less of interviews his whole life since then. You got to ask yourself, wait, you walked on the moon and you don't want to talk about it? You don't want to talk to anyone?
Why would you want to share? That is like the most telling. Their interview, when they came back, they looked like they were hostages. They looked like they were lying, and they looked like they were guilty. Like we're
making it up on the fly. If you actually watch it. Really, it looks like they're just like shit. What were we supposed to say? No one. There was no like. Yeah, we did it. Like, there wasn't even like, and even when they introduced them, this was in my original Flat Earth film called Level. Mm-hmm. I cover a lot of this in there. But when the White House introduced them to the public on television for the first time to congratulate him, basically. And Neil Armstrong had to introduce No, Buzz Aldrin. No, yeah, Neil Armstrong had to introduce Buzz Aldrin because really they were passing the torch to Buzz, and Neil knew it. Buzz was going to be the spokesperson and do the interviews.
The face of the moon landing and everything.
This was the passing of the baton. But if you watch the passing of the baton, no one's smiling again, not even a handshake, not even a hug. This man's literally introducing for the first time to the world on live TV in terms of after the moon landing, ladies and gentlemen, Buzz Aldrin. You know, it's like, and everybody in the White House is like, yeah. And Neil's just walks by him and Buzz walks by him. It's like, I'm just a realist. Come on. I mean, they clearly are in on it, and you could tell that some of them probably didn't want to be, or I think that their natural response was, that looks terrible. We have to defend this? I thought you said it was going to be legit. Like, what is this shit? And then they did the same thing. Look at Elon Musk when they went live to him at the press conference when they sent the Tesla into space. Remember that? They sent the Tesla in the upper space. Oh, a car's driving around with a glow behind it. And then they zoom in on Elon Musk, and he's just like, oh my God, this looks terrible. Then he's like, you could tell it's real because it looks so fake. This looks ridiculous and impossible, but we'd use better CGI if we were going to fake it. That's the first thing he says. Instead of, we did it. Oh, my car's up there. Oh my God. It's like talking about CGI, talking about it looks real because, it looks fake because it's real. This is magic. This is magic they play on the public. And I hate seeing the truth seekers fall for it, continue to fall for these. Well, Elon Musk is a real one. No.
What about, your thoughts on Elon?
No.
He's just another front man, right?
It's another front man. He'll listen. To me, this might be a stretch to your audience, but I'm just going to keep it real with you. To me, this is a war. We are in a war. We are in a live exercise, but we are the peasants. Collectively, we are the peasants, unfortunately. Not to our creator. We are the powerful soldiers of our creator, but to the elite, we're the peasants. But there's a war going on. I think it's a spiritual war, and I think it's a demonic war. I think it's a Luciferian versus a Moloch type of war where there's these demon forces are here in human form. Call one of them this guy, call one of them the other guy. They're not saying they're not human, but they're under some influence of something dark, unfortunately. And this is the way the world's been for a long time. There's a lot of evil here. Whether you want to look at that as a spiritual thing or just a reality thing with the trafficking in our children and all this stuff going on, this is a dark place. And I think that we're in the darkest part of it now, but it's going to get very dark before it gets super light and super beautiful. And I think we had to go through this. You have to hold the masses' feet to the fire to show them the psyop they've been living. And most of the masses that want to jump in that fire, we tried to help you, but we are in a war and there's going to be casualties. A lot of people are dying suddenly. A lot of people will probably jump in front of a train when they start doing these holograms, aliens in the sky. They're going to jump in front of a train or jump off the bridge because they can't handle that they might be abducted right soon. It could be chaos soon, but I do feel in my heart that we're going to have a world that is what we all want. And in our lifetime, because it has to go that way. It just has to. It has to go to that direction. And I think people like us and peers like ourselves, we just keep doing what we do in all aspects, all roads and avenues of truth. And showing the deception to the masses like we do. If we all just keep doing that, the ripple effect will literally line up our world to be what we want. And I'm sick of the fear mongers that go on shows or even just have their own shows. Just, we're all going to die. And here comes Schwab. And dude, I'll rip Schwab's head off with my bare hands. And so would you. So, say it again.
Take one for the team.
Yeah. It's just a point of, I'll even be fair and say 100,000 of them, these evil people that are making these choices versus the billions of us. The problem is the billions of us are
sleep or scared. Yes.
Sleep, scared. Well, it's all to me. If you have fear, especially now, you are a sheep. I'm sorry. You're still a part of that group to me. You got to be fearless. It's time for the feelers to stand up and move forward and be assertive and alpha about it, because It's time. It's just time, as you know. It's time to start making the shift in this world to be better. And again, no matter how cliche I sound or how out of this world I sound, if the world wants it faster and quicker, go north and go south. I can't. I don't know what else to tell you. You got to do that, because that exposes everything collectively. COVID. To George Floyd, to any submarine or children trafficking, more serious stuff. Everything that you think there's a problem with the world. Oh, I want this to change with the world. And that's the number one way. And I want someone to tell me another way. That's the number one way to resolve it all and dissolve all of them. This evil is to prove to the society, prove to the triple mass and quadruple jabbed that there's more land, and they've been hiding about. They've been lying and hiding territory from us for a reason, for an enslavement, for a matrix system that they have succeeded. It's time to open the matrix system again and get the fuck out of here. We're crammed in the northernmost part of this entire world. We're just stuck here thinking this is all there is. And if we keep doing that, they can do whatever they want. They control the universities. They control the corporations, our education. You see what's going on with the educational system now with the trans stuff.
Yeah.
None of that would happen if humanity knew that there's more out there and that there's land in the north, which in my mind is more important, because I think that the center of our earth and what's there, all of our ancients spoke about, the magnetic mountain, Mount Meru, that produces the aurora borealis. There's something in the north why our compasses are telling us to come there, but we're not allowed there. That doesn't make sense. So, and then they tell us as children, oh, it's horrible. You can't go to the North Pole. You'll die from being freezing cold. You believe them? Why do you think they brought Santa Claus into the picture in the early 1900s, I believe, late 1800s? Because they don't want anyone hearing about North Pole and going there ever again. Twisted into if I go into the middle of the street right now and say, what do you think of when you hear North Pole to a stranger? Number one is Santa Claus. Number one is Christmas. Number one. That obviously we all know, everyone knows that's BS, the whole Santa Claus story is. But why did they, push it and create it and do it? That's why. That is why. They don't want anyone to think anything about the North Pole ever, because that, to me, is the key to knowing our system, how it works, and what they're hiding. They're hiding something there. Admiral Byrd had a leaked diary. I'm not saying it's real.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. There was like giant sloths and crazy stuff. So what do you think about that?
I didn't say it. He did. But that there's a race of giants there. They were talking about in the Iron Republic in the late 1800s. A guy got on a ship, was tired of the tyrannical nature in the States. Sound familiar? He got in a ship. He took off and got lost, as people do, and stumbled upon land. Was nowhere in the 7 continents he knew of when he stumbled upon it. Where are we? They called themselves the Iron Republic, but they were big. Not only were they big, they knew of where he was from, New York. They're like, how are you here?
Yeah.
And they're like, let's show you around. He loved the place. Whether people think it's a fantasy book or not, they're still printing these words in the 1800s. Flat screen TV. I know it's a different wording. They were talking about TVs hung on walls in the book. They were talking about advanced technology over there, electric cars over there, flying saucers based on electrostatics, which we've already reverse engineered here on Earth. These isn't some gray bug eye creatures from above your head. Now, this is all made here, but they know how to maneuver them. All the technology that we might have now was there then and was talked about then. So in my mind, I kind of paint this picture of once the powers that be took over this new world, because we're still in the New World Order. The old world order, which was the Tartaria type of world, free electricity, free energy. I'm sure water was free and pure and clean and probably healed you with the spring water, technology that they can't recreate today. There's hover machines that you could fly. You could just get in your own hover machine. Think about it in your head like Back to the Future style, but it's like a machine where you just take off. You just go wherever you want. And I think that might have been electrostatic, so it'd work all day, all night. It's charged from the sun and the moon and the stars is electric. So they had technology to make our world look like dog shit, but yet we're taught that our ancients were stupid. Our ancients didn't have what we had. We're the coolest. We have smartphones and we have this and that, and we're the dumbest, in my opinion. We think we're the smartest, but we are the dumbest. The old world had this world system where you could probably live to 200 and get away with it because you're healthy. They would produce frequencies. These churches of new, you see this old temple, you're like, oh, it's just a church in my community. It's an old church. No, it's not. No, it's not. You were told that was a church. I bet you they turned it into a church around 1920 something, right? Yeah, they probably did. If you do the research, that building, that church started in the 20s or maybe the early 1915, something like that. What was it before that? It was a temple to heal you. It was a frequency. They would create frequencies in the top of their buildings to produce waves of frequencies to heal the community. And people would go in them and recharge their body. None of it was for religion, organized religions. I also think those are new. I'm in a boat of my own, I think, on that, but I don't care. I think those are organized religions are all new too. I think this is literally the New World Order has been here since, if there was a reset, I wasn't there. It looks like there might have been. Whatever that was, since then, people took over. Bad people said, hey, there's not a lot of people here. But somehow you look at these old reports from newspapers of incubator babies being shipped in from where? Being brought here on trains and ships? Babies being brought to these continents that we know of here from where? Well, probably the outer lands, in my opinion. But it's just crazy how it kind of all goes hand in hand, that the Earth's a stationary plane, that we're powerful people, that we're at the center, we're special, but that we were more special than we could have ever imagined in the old world. And with giants, I mean, you'd have to be a fool to not think that there was some 20-foot people walking around, 30-foot people, because those buildings that we were just talking about with these giant doors, 40-foot high. Why is there a 40-foot door for little people back then on horse and buggy? And that's the official story, is that the people on horse and buggy built these buildings.
Yeah.
And then they took them down. You look at every major city in America and probably across the world had a major fire in the early 1900s. I mean, that destroyed the city. A major fire. Every major city had one. And especially Chicago, the Great Chicago Fire. That wasn't random. Yeah, it's the same shit they do now in California. They just light up a forest fire. They and I still think they had direct energy weapons back then, even. I do. But they just torched all of Tartaria's buildings because they don't want anybody knowing about the old technology and who was here right before us. Not 10,000 years ago or some shit. Like right before us, they were here. And that's what my next film will be about. I'm still learning along the way. It's fascinating though.
Because people think that 100 or 200 years ago was something completely different, right? And you're saying, no, they were actually more advanced than us now.
Way more advanced. And it's all covered up. It's all a part of the system
like how would we know unless someone was 200 years old right now?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Rockefeller, when he started the Board of Education, none of that was included. Nothing. No old world technology, structures, how they live their lives was included in his books, and still to this day, it's still his books. So if you are born past 1920, you don't know any of this stuff. Yeah. And on purpose, they don't teach you. They don't teach us. Again, the average person, then you take outside and say, hey, look at that giant building that looks like it's designed for giants. What is that to you? It's a church. Well, yeah, okay, it's a church. Okay, it's a church. Now it's a church. Or now it's a university, a Yale or something, right? Now it is. What was it before? A lot of people will guess, old Romans, in the 1400s, they, maybe they settled actually the official story in a lot of those buildings, as crazy as this sounds, is that, especially the ones that were torn down because they just blew them up, was that, the horse and buggy people, they literally built those buildings in 1918, and then they took them all down in 1920. They didn't want them anymore. The nicest buildings that would probably take 20 years for us to pretend to redesign, because we can't redesign them anymore. We can't build those at all present day, modern times. We can't build that. Whatever they use, whatever stone it was, we have no one knows apparently. But it was so well made that it's one of a kind. So they kept some. You see some in every city. You see these things, they're out of place. You're like, why is this here? Everything else is a, 2020 type of design building.
Yeah.
Or, call it 1980s. But it's across the world. The whole world was filled with this. The whole world looked like this. So what was the whole world consist of? That's what this film's going to be about, because I'm still learning along the way. This could probably be a 3-part series, 3 movies in the next 5 years type of vibe for me, because you can't do this all in one film. You can't. This is actually, I'm trying to make a film on real history, no more Rockefeller shit, no more, the Western and like people are outside, they draw, boom. Like that's how the world was. And then they got like guys on horses riding around. Hello. And like, can I see one of those buildings? Sorry, I got a big picture of one on my wall, but can I see one of those buildings being built ever, constructed?
Yeah.
No. I thought they built them in 1920 and then they tore them down in 22.
Yeah. And it's just interesting. Admiral Byrd depicted these things in great detail. So it's odd to think that, we can believe some parts of his story, but not the rest. And why would he make all that up in such great detail? It's definitely.
And why'd they kill him?
They kill him.
Another thing. Yeah, because possibly a lot of people go, oh, maybe he was brought in for, what do they call it, soft disclosure or consent, right? Look, Admiral Byrd told you in 1958 that they're hiding, that there's land over there. To the world, everyone heard that probably that day or whatever. That's it. Their hands are clean. They told you. No one did a goddamn thing about it.
Right.
So they go, okay, hey, we told everybody. What's next? Yeah. Look at, no one's going to where Byrd just went. Nobody's even marching. This is great. We have full consent. So it doesn't go against the laws of the universe. Because I truly believe that even the bad ones, the elite, whatever, the Illuminati, whatever people call it, I still think that they still abide the laws of the universe. And that's you don't harm others. But
we have to consent.
But if you're under, but my point is, you don't harm others. But if you're under oath, what's the oath say? What's your labels? What's your record label contract say? What's your movie label say? If they're Freemasons, all of them, right? If you're under an oath, well, then the laws of the universe will never apply to you anymore. You already signed that if you whistleblow or if you fuck up or if you say something that you're not supposed to, they're getting rid of you. And I think Admiral Byrd said too much.
Yeah.
And they got rid of him, especially maybe because they found his diary and said, whoa, dude, don't write this shit. Get him, because I don't know. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know if the diary is 100% real. I don't know, but it reigns true to me in a sense, because no matter what he thinks he saw or whatever, I still think based on ancient research and just my 10 years of research overall, even without Admiral Byrd involved, there's evidence that there's land beyond the South, at least speculation evidence, as I call it, and a lot of speculation evidence of the North. Even the Wizard of Oz showed you 4 continents in the North. Yeah. It's until we all go, it's just words, unfortunately, right now. But at least I'm trying to bring awareness to something that people yawn on. They yawn about what I'm talking about. How can you yawn if there's, call it 250 continents in the world?
Yeah.
And those continents maybe are more advanced, more nice and less tyrannical. But our leaders said you can't go there. You're going to allow that? If that was the case, that's something you would allow? You could put an animal in a 20-mile fence line. He might be okay with that because he used to have a 1-mile fence line. But by the 20-mile fence line, he might get to the fence line and go, you know what? Damn, I got 20 miles. I'm not even mad. I'm good. But a human being? Come on. I mean, we are in a fence line, an artificial fence line, whether you believe in a ball earth going 4 different motions at once or not.
What about the moon itself? The moon and the stars.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, again, I don't know. I can't touch it. Anything you can't touch, see, especially in the sky, anything in the sky, we can't touch it. We can't feel it. We don't know how far away it is. We don't know what it's made out of. We can't go up there. So it's pure speculation, but based off of educated research and common sense, you put both together. I think that the sun and moon and stars are some sort of frequency, vibration, energy, electric source for us humans. We need them, those lights, in my opinion. We need those lights. The sun we need, as you know, you die without it. So, and I think it's got lost in translation along the way when it comes to the Son of God, of what they used to be talking about back in the day, opposed to the New Testament. That's another story. But either way, the sun in the sky, you will die without it. Okay. You need it. Your plants need it. Your animals need it. That is a small and local light in the sky for warmth, for heat, for life, for growth, for downloads from our source, from our creator. If you don't sun gaze, please look into it, because it'll really help your brain, and it'll help you connect with our God. But the moon, that's a mystery to me. It really is. It does seem as if it's a cold light. It's a kind of a yin and yang, right? I mean, the sun is a hot light and the moon is a cold lamp, call it. A cold lamp produces cold light. Has nothing to do with the sun in terms of its light. It's not a rock. It's not a dirty, dusty rock. It is its own light. It is self-illuminating, and it does its own display. It cycles, whether that be from the past that I've researched. They used to be called moons. Mm-hmm. Never was called months until they changed it to 12 months in a year. It used to be called 13 moons a year, and the moon itself would tell you the month, what month it is. Based on looking at the moon, you'd be like, oh, it's the middle of the month. That's what it used to. That's what it is. It helps you in the calendar system, the clock system in our sky. The sun tells you the day, the day, and then the moon is the months or the moons. And then the stars tell you the years, because you could go outside and take a picture of the stars tonight, right down in your backyard, exactly where you were standing, X marks the spot or whatever. Take a picture of your night sky, and exactly 1 year later, to that exact same time, set an alarm, go out and take a picture. 1 year later, 2 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later, doesn't matter. It will be in the exact same position, because we have a perfect, not a random beehive, random billion miles an hour going all these different directions. We have a perfect system in our sky. We have perfect predicted eclipses of all of ancient history. They know exactly when it's coming. NASA's got nothing to do with that. A globe has nothing to do with that. They just include it, and they brainwash us where, modern times is like, yeah, we know when the eclipse is coming. They always have, because it's a perfect sky clock. It's going to do the same thing all the time. That proves, again, that we're not in a heliocentric, four motions, 1,000 miles an hour here, 500,000 miles an hour here, millions of miles an hour that way. Oh, but we see the same stars every night, every year. Our grandma saw the same ones. Her grandma saw the same ones. It's because we're not moving, and everything in the sky is moving, and it's doing a perfect clock system. But the sun itself is what predicts the seasons for us. So if it's a small and local light, imagine a heat lamp above your head. It's going to be in our summer in America. It's on the Tropic of Cancer, which is the ring in the center. You have the Earth here going around, right? You have the actual plane. I don't have any graphics or anything, but in that behind me, there you go, a plane behind me. Once the sun goes past that horizon, it's a small little light, guys. Yeah. So you're not going to see it. Now it's in Africa. Oh, I could still see the sun. No, you can't. What are you talking about? You can't. It's a small sun that's warming up your area. That's why at noon you're sweating. But at 5 o'clock, you're like, oh, it's nice out now. That same sun is right there. The same exact full-size sun is just right there. Well, what do you relate to more? That 93 million mile an hour away, the 93 million miles away fireball moved a couple degrees in the sky. Does that sound like that would make sense why you're not hot anymore? Or that local small heat lamp sun that's above my head right now, that's like hurting me, is now moved literally moved across the sky. Oh yeah, I'm not hot anymore. I'd say, ooh, thank you. Take your heat over there. And that's why you see the clouds are glowing around the sun when it's setting. Same as the moon. Look at a full moon. Look at your clouds. Your clouds, we all know the clouds are 10,000 feet away, right? So if the moon was 500,000 miles away, a full moon, it's 500,000 miles away, shining on this little BB Earth. Mm-hmm. half of the earth would see the glow of the moon. Same with the sun. Half the world would see the sunshine. But yet, meaning all the clouds too, the ocean, everything is all evenly lit. It's all evenly distributed on the little BB called Earth. But yet in reality, the moon, the full moon or the sun at sunset, especially when it's glowing, it's only glowing those 4 or 5 clouds right around it.
Yeah.
You look at the clouds behind you on a full moon, they're blacker than black. Yeah. But if that light source is 500,000 miles away, or whatever they say, millions of miles away, all of the clouds above my head in this little city I'm in, all the clouds above my head would be distributed evenly with light from the sun or the moon. Yeah. So with the ocean, evenly distributed. Yet, even the ocean, you see a hot spot, whether it be the sun or the moon. You see a reflection of the actual local light above it. It's literally a local light. That's all I know is that it's local. It's going around our head. The moon, the electricity in the moon itself, and possibly the sun is why the tides are moving. Because here's 2 local electric, very high in electricity lights going around our earth. It's moving those waves, the salt water, right? That's why the bodies of water with no salt in it, no movement.
Yeah.
I don't get how that makes sense on a heliocentric ball, Earth traveling. So again, for me, it's not about proving the flat Earth to people. My angle usually is, let's talk about your globe. Because, I woke up this morning knowing that I'm not moving. The world's not moving. There's no proof of anything moving or spinning. If you could start with that, if you could dig deep down inside your soul and at least start with common sense.
Yeah,
I am not moving. Someone told me that when I was 5. You have to start there because it's a hard one to get out of because we've been so conditioned and it's everywhere. You see globes everywhere, every logo, every.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to make sure we have enough time for everything.
I know I can go. I'm sorry. I can go.
All right. I just got one more question because we have to wrap up. Sure. Space Force, for all the Trump supporters out there who love Trump, no matter what, Space Force. Why is he so obsessed with Space Force? And is it just another psyop yet again?
I think it's a psyop within a psyop. Yeah. And what I mean by that, it's nothing against the Trump fans or the Trump people, because I'd rather pick a conversation with a Trump fan than any other type of fan of anyone in politics ever, because they're critical thinking, they're open-minded, and they want a better world. So that's all I care about. Yeah. So I'm with all of you in terms of that. Yeah. But with Space Force, I don't know. I mean, my opinion, they don't really make any noise per se. I mean, what are they doing? But at the same time, who knows? Who knows what's around the corner coming up here and what kind of Operation Disclosure is coming to the world? Because I always joke about Space Force is that they're going to be setting it up soon where we're going to be able to see these other lands. And it's going to be a big wave of truth coming. Wave of truth coming in the next 5 years, in my opinion. And possibly Space Force was designed for that, and it's very private, compartmentalized right now. The public can't know, but this is another way to get out of our world, and maybe there are other worlds out there, but it's that way. Look at behind me. Keep walking forever is my point. If you keep walking forever, you'll hit a ice barrier called Antarctica. If you get up and go over there, what is going when you keep going that way? Is there another one of these past Antarctica? A new world, call our world system a bathtub, just joking around, but call it, this is our bathtub. This is our world, right? The land's inside, the water's level, and it's contained. Can't have that ocean without the tub. Yeah. So, but when you get out of that tub and you're on level land, at the top of the tub, you're level. Is there another bathtub over there? I don't know, but there might be. People have spoken about it in the past. People have spoken about multiple bathtubs in the past. They don't want us to know something. That's all I know for sure. They don't want us to know something. Now, there's some Christian flat earthers, and there's no disrespect to them. Hardcore, Holy Bible, it says it's flat 200 times in here, and it does. But I don't look at it from that perspective. But when they do, some of them will talk about a dome, right? We're trapped in this dome. We're in like a snow globe.
Firmament. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, to me, a firmament is just the oceans above. I think it's just a hydrogen, like a H3, a very dense form of hydrogen above us it's just an ocean above us, a flat ocean above us, just like the oceans below are flat.
Yeah.
And that's my only opinion. I can't go up there and touch anything. I've seen amateur rockets hit something, sounds like water when it stops at 73 miles. I got that in my latest film, Level With Me. You can hear, it's like, again, and now with Elon Musk and SpaceX, when they're sending their rockets up, they're going higher now than NASA ever has, because they know exactly where the top is, and they start scraping our ocean above. You can see like water. It looks like they're jet skiing above your head. And if anyone, no one knows what I'm talking about, watch Level With Me. I got it in there, multiple angles. It's like they're surfing on the ocean above. So no, I do not contest to a glass dome, a dinner plate with a glass thing over it, and then this is all there is. No, I don't contest to that. I think there's more out there. I think there's more in the north, and I think that we're just on an extended plane, and the water above is an extended, flat, giant ocean that surrounds our entire world. Who knows how big it is my point. But in my lifetime, I really do feel as if humanity hopefully will get on board with this, because we need to go, well, even if you think it's a globe, just be on our team for a minute. Can we go over there? Can we just go over there and see? What if we go see that there's 10 more continents?
Yeah.
Please stop calling it a globe at that point. But it's just a point. Let's get together, because they can't control 7 continents if there's 300.
Yeah.
We'll all go. But we don't know. It's mental. It's what we're taught. It's what we know, right? It's all about what you know, knowledge, wisdom. If we don't have that, they'll keep running the show, because we can fight this COVID psyop. We could fight the next psyop. But the reason they're allowed to do psyops is, in my opinion, is because this is all there is and they're in control. It's not the case.
Yeah.
If we could go, 10,000 miles that way and just live, everybody have 100 acres each. Well, you wouldn't want that? I mean, it's like, but these are the things that we need to come together as humanity to at least go find out and check. And that's my life goal. Besides saving our children, that should always be number one. But I think it goes hand in hand, because in my opinion, where are they taking them? Yeah. And I know there's trade routes that are going past Antarctica in the middle of nowhere, probably another continent over there, but that's another day. But there's ship trade routes that end up in the middle of this, bottom of the ball, apparently. How they get there, they can't just go from water to the middle of Antarctica, but then when you look on a flat earth map, it's exactly where another continent would be and has been reported to be. So there's trade routes there, but what are they trading? What are they shipping? Is it children? Is it people? Because they know none of us can see this if it's out of sight, out of mind. And I think that they push forward these islands, right? For the public. We gave you something. We gave you some sort of disclosure. We gave you something, right? Even though the people are out for blood now to get these motherfuckers taken down and taken out and destroyed. If we're looking and we can't find them, again, I ask the question, where are they taking them? And why can't we go past 60th parallel? If it goes hand in hand, we are breaking open the biggest change in human history once we walk past that parallel together. And I mean that. And it does go hand in hand with our children, because if I'm right, and many before me were right, that there's more land and all this stuff, okay? If I'm right, there's more continents. Would you not assume that's where our children are being taken? I would. I know there's some underground. I know that for sure. But that's another thing. The masses don't know about underground societies. Same shit. But this is even more, to me, secret, because, billions of us can storm, right?
Yep.
And we should.
At the time, you feel very much, or I did feel very much on stage, 240,000 miles away. It doesn't seem like on stage, but when you know that millions of people are watching on television, listening to your voice, you're, in a word, apprehensive of not doing something wrong or not fulfilling what's expected of you.
You'd do it all again?
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be trying moments if I did it again. But having gone through it once, I'd be a much smarter person.
And yet, Buzz, it almost destroyed you.
Right? At the time, you feel very much, or I did feel very much on stage. 240,000 miles away, it doesn't seem like on stage, but when you know that millions of people are watching on television, listening to your voice, you're, in a word, apprehensive of not doing something wrong or not fulfilling what's expected of you.
You'd do it all again.
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be trying moments if I did it again. But having gone through it once, I'd be a much smarter person.
And yet, Buzz, it almost destroyed you.
Right?
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.